Okay, so for my Mice and Men one pager, so my three characters I chose were Lenny, George, and Candy. Lenny, he's childlike, he's mentally handicapped. George is slim and sharp with quick wit and temper. Candy is friendly, talkative, old and crippled, and he's big-hearted. Those three characters I chose because I thought they were some of the more important ones in the story. Lenny and George are the two main characters, and Candy's one of the main characters, but he's kind of like a side main character, if that makes sense. Like, he isn't, like, the main character of the book, but he's not, like, a character that you only hear about once. So, in chapter 4, I did a level 1 question of, why did Curly's wife come into the room? And the answer to that is to flirt because she was lonely. In chapter 5, there's a level 2 question. What would you do if you had accidentally killed the pup? I would have fessed up right away that I killed it, just because it's not okay to lie about something like that, especially if it's like a little dog and like a little puppy. You need to let people know, or like tell somebody you did it. In chapter 6, there's a level 3 question. Do you think that people can work hard enough to achieve any dream? Yes, but you have to find your way around the obstacles and find motivation to do it. And then the climax of the story is when Lenny kills Curly's wife. And this is because Lenny has a record of not being gentle enough, and his innocence is easily tricked. He kills Curly's wife on accident, so it's not on purpose. He just doesn't know his own strengths. Interrupting all the relationships in the book, especially with George. So Lenny kind of ruins some of his relationships with the other characters in the book because he kills Curly's wife because he doesn't know his own strengths. And then some motifs that can be found is loneliness, companionship, and strength. For the loneliness, Curly's wife, Lenny and the animals, George's fear of being alone, those are all examples of loneliness. Companionship, Lenny and George's relationship, and Candy and his dog. Candy and his dog are really close. They're both older. Strength is that Lenny doesn't know his own strength and he crushes animals to death. Like example, like the rabbit. Or he kills Curly's wife on accident because he doesn't know his own strength. Some quotes are, why can't I talk to you? I get to talk to nobody and I get awfully lonely. And that can be seen on page 86. Loneliness is a major motif in the book, and this helps build up Curly's wife's relationship with Lenny, which leads to her and George's deaths. And then the crash of the shot rolled up the hills and rolled down again. That can be seen on page 106, and it shows the imagery of the shot that killed the main character of the book, Lenny, killed by his friend George. And then relevance. Of Mice and Men still has many ties to today's world, connection with themes to times of COVID. People form relationships to not be lonely. They work for their dreams and have to deal with obstacles. That all can play into everybody's life, especially nowadays. Just trying to build relationships with people, like through online school, it can be hard to make new friends because people don't turn on their cameras and you can't really see people and you can't see them every day at lunch or in the halls. So that's definitely hard, but that's how this book has, because people are lonelier in this time because they can't see anybody. And then the author's style is simple and full of slang and descriptive. An example of that is describing the bunkhouse as long rectangular building, small square windows, 8 bunks, 5 of them with blankets, the other 3 not. That's just because it's describing the bunkhouse in very good description, and so you can try to picture in your head what the bunkhouse looks like. And then that dog ain't no good to himself. I wish it somebody shot me if I got a cripple. That's slang. I can't even say it right. So that's slang that he uses in the book. Yeah. And then the symbols, we have rabbits, the dead dog, so Candy's dead dog, and they're George and Lenny's dream farm. The rabbits, they show up several times, and Lenny refers to them often in the book. And what they represent is Lenny's escape from reality. Because as a mentally disabled man, he has a bunch of obstacles, so the rabbits just help him, like, escape from reality. The dead dog, it shows up in chapter 5 after Lenny accidentally kills the pup. And it's a symbol of Lenny's strength and how destructive he is, and he doesn't know his own strength. And then their dream farm, as George and Lenny refer to it, it's their dream to have this big dream farm where they live. And it symbolizes the American dream and how they want to achieve this farm. And it's kind of like dreaming of it, so it's like the American dream. And then for my theme statements. So for chapter, I think this is 6. Yes. So a theme statement for chapter 6 is sometimes the best way in life to move ahead is to get rid of people holding you back. And this refers to George killing Lenny just because Lenny was holding George back from achieving his dreams, and so just to get rid of him. That doesn't mean kill him like he did, but just to get rid of the people holding you back in life. Chapter 5 is the best way to avoid problems is to own up to mistakes. This refers to Lenny killing the pup. He caused problems by not telling anybody, so if he would have told somebody, I bet you that there would have been less problems with it. And then chapter 4, it is better to be lonely than form bad relationships. That refers to Curly's wife and how she should have been lonely than to go and try to have an affair with someone else and cheat on Curly. Yeah. And then chapter 3 is friendships can come out of good or bad times. This just refers to all the people becoming friends through the bad times that they had and how close they got throughout just the whole book and how they could be. So yeah, that's my one pager.